Hi again, everyone. I'm Annette, and I am an everything reseller on eBay since 1999. I do sell on other platforms, but my channel focuses mainly on eBay. And this weekend, when I was outsourcing, I had a moment that some of you might consider awkward. I wanted to talk about what happened and also other topics based on your comments and questions that might be considered the ethics or the standards category. So that's what I want to cover today. And I also continually get questions about how I know what to pick up, what causes me to even pick up anything at any given sale. I'm going to tell you what I found this weekend, why I picked it up in the first place, and what drew me to it.
Yay! Flippin' high Grammy!
Some people might think that what happened to me this weekend falls under the ethical category. And I wanted to especially tell you newer resellers out there that it's not a matter of if, but only when you will be faced with decisions that you need to make for your business. And I've got 6 scenarios for you here. And I don't like to tell people what to do. I think that all of us have to do what we think is right. And I've even changed on a couple things, how I've done things based on what's happened to me. The older you get, the more you evolve in your beliefs. Beliefs change, circumstances change. So I'll be covering 6 scenarios here, but I'll tell you first what happened to me this weekend. When I was outsourcing this weekend, I went to several estate sales, and at one of them, I came upon a whole bunch of the same item. And I knew I wanted them all. Some were on the table, some were in a big bin below. So I was combining them all together, and someone came by and took one of them out of the bin, and I told them I was taking them all, and they got a little offended and said, "You're going to take them all?" And I told them I was. I've had it happen to me regularly through the years. At times, I have let someone have some of them. In this particular case, I did not. Let me know what you think. Has it ever happened to you? Does it happen to you often? Here's another scenario for you. And again, it's just a matter of time, but you will eventually find money. I have a friend who recently found a lot of money in a pocket of a pair of jeans at Goodwill. And also, you will find high value items in hoarder homes. I think about all the things I've found through the years. Do you turn them in, so to speak? In the case of the money in the jeans at Goodwill, my friend did not turn the money in simply because they were on a sale tag or something that indicated they'd been there a while, and he figured it would be next to impossible to find the owner of the jeans. But he also knows someone who works there, and apparently the business practices there are not that great. I don't know what I would do, but again, what would you do in that situation? This next issue is not a tough one for me, and it's all the more surprising when some people get really upset with resellers like me who sell vintage or even very old perfume. Keep in mind that eBay does not allow you to sell used perfume. It's got to be new and unused. But I know that the buyers of these old perfumes, they are mainly buying it for nostalgic purposes. Yes, it does break down. It's not, the integrity is compromised, but even I can relate to it because when I find old Avon, for instance, those smells bring me back to being a teenager, and I couldn't wait to see what my friend's mom had new because she was an Avon rep. So those are the kinds of buyers that I love to sell to. And ironically, when I was making this video, a new feedback came in for me that shows you a perfect example of their enthusiasm. The next potentially ethical dilemma can be a tough one at times because it involves what you are willing to sell on eBay, and is there anything that you refuse to sell based on your beliefs. And I have a friend, she will not sell anything with nudity, and I respect that. That's her business. She has her own reasons for doing that. It might be something religious you're not willing to sell. Let me know in the comments below if there are things that you refuse to sell. I actually do have something on my list that I won't sell anymore. I removed those items from my store and got rid of them. And here's where it gets hard sometimes. Not long after, I was at a sale where I found some really good flips that would have made a lot of money, but they fell into the category that I had decided not to sell anymore. When it comes to ethics on eBay, I'm actually really protective of us resellers on eBay because I want buyers to believe that we can be trusted, that we care about our buyers. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect reseller. I don't do things that other resellers might agree with, and vice versa. But I try to operate by the golden rule. Recently, I sold a bundle of something. When I went to pack it up, I noticed that one of the items was damaged. And what I decided to do is to send the bundle to the buyer with a note saying that they would get the fourth item shortly. I found the fourth item for her on eBay, and by the time I paid for the shipping to get it to me, then shipping to get it to her, it wasn't cheap, but I was just happy to make it right. I could have wiggled out of it in several ways, but I wanted to take care of her. I really try to do that with my customers. If someone buys a $20 mug, I'm going to pack it as carefully as I would a $200 item. That's how I like to do things. Again, I'm not pretending I'm Miss Perfect, but I like people to still believe that eBay is a great place to buy. This last potentially ethical dilemma, I still hear a lot about on my channel. People still comment that they're uncomfortable when they see me asking for discounts at yard sales, and I do get criticized for it quite a bit. But it's another question to ask yourself, do you feel comfortable doing it? Is it right? Is it wrong? I always come back to the golden rule. That's the way I do things. I've had plenty of yard sales through the years myself. I'm not offended. I don't feel cheated. If people ask for discounts, if I don't want to give one, I'm going to say no. So it's not an issue for me. But again, I hear a lot about it, and a lot of people still make comments about it. What do you think about asking for discounts? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Tell me what you think. Now let me show you some of the things I got this weekend, and hopefully you would know to pick these things up also. You can consider some of them some good BOLOs. The first thing I found was this REI tent. Whenever you find a tent, you want to make sure that you at least take it out and see if it's been used at all. This one was still in the original pouches. Everything has clearly not been used. You always want to double check that though. REI, all these brands are really sellable on eBay. People are always looking to not pay retail on these items. Whenever you see what is called new old stock, always grab it. You can tell by the graphics here that they're old. I got two of these items that are not made anymore like this. I got 2 boxes of these. If they're for a reasonable price, always pick up vintage items still in the box. I often talk in my videos about the importance of learning to develop your eye for finding good quality elements so that you don't have to rely on memorizing BOLOs so much. Here's a great example of being able to identify something that will probably sell just because they are made of real fur, and there's about 10 of these little guys. I'll throw up a comp for you, but you can just tell their quality because of the precision wood carving here. They are from some European country. I don't know how to read that, but you can just tell they're good, especially because of the real fur. Always look into something like this if it's got real fur on it. This is personally one of my favorite things that I found because it is so special. If you look at the hand painting there and the texture on this thing, it's got another scene there, just really well made. I don't know that I can even find a comp on this. I really haven't looked, but I can tell it's special just because of the painting, the texture, and that it's old milk glass. Vintage stationery is always a favorite pickup of mine, especially if it's got special graphics that's going to help it sell. But in this case, it's from a university. I couldn't find any comps like it on eBay. That could be a really good sign that somebody is trying to find it. At the very least, might take a little while to sell, but it will sell. I'm sure you can tell by the style here that this is an older watch. I have since found out that the sell-through rate on it is not all that great. There's quite a few on eBay right now. However, I only paid $1 for it. It is new in the box. I do think it will still sell, but it just might take a little while. I also was in a basement that had vintage Japan items scattered throughout the basement. So I started collecting them, put it all in one box. I can spot them a mile away. I do have a dedicated video on vintage Japan. You really should watch it if you're interested in the category. Highly collectible. You can learn to spot it a mile away. Even when something like this is not marked Japan, you'll know it is. But look at this little guy. You can tell this one is marked Japan, but all of these are Japan. I'll show you the whole box I got. I probably got 50 or more pieces for like $5. Not sure if I will bundle them and sell them. I do collect a lot of vintage Japan. You always want to pick up these kinds of figurines, all the different holiday figurines whenever you see them. Not all of these are vintage Japan. The vast majority definitely are. I went to one estate sale where I just didn't see a whole lot for me to flip, but I did notice all of these hair cones, and you can see just the quality there. Look at this pearl one. It's carved beautifully. The quality, the construction of these looks pretty good, but I will probably sell them as a bundle. But again, this one is cloisonne. Even when you can get something like this just for a couple dollars, at the very least, you could sell them as a bundle. Again, look at the quality. That should catch your eye. I'll have some more live sourcing video up for you soon, and feel free to drop any comments or questions below. You know I love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.